Welcome to this bonus episode of Dumbest in the Room. Today I'm joined by some very, very, very special guests. I have the Santa Claus, and I have Jingles the Elf.
Ho, ho, ho.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it. And I know you guys, today's December 15th, 10 days, biggest day of the year.
Yeah, we're a little busy.
Yeah.
A little busy.
It's coming up faster than you think. You know, we spend all year getting ready for it, and it never feels like we have enough time, eh?
No, it never does.
No, pretty busy, but
fortunately, I don't have to worry about too much of the pre-work. My work's primarily on the day, as they say, and I have a few things here and there. I gotta make sure I've, trained for all the cookies, and my lactose intolerance kicks in now. And
how's that diet going, by the way?
what diet?
Well, I heard Mrs. Claus was trying to get you
you
on
heard
like
Mrs. Claus.
Gotcha.
That's what you heard.
Well, let's talk about your diet because, cookies and milk can't be good for a guy.
It is not.
Especially millions of them.
Absolutely not. And so, really, that's what the reindeer are for. I don't actually eat most of the cookies. The reindeer are extremely full by the end of the night, and the bag that I bring all my toys in is chock full, and I come back to the North Pole and everybody gets to have cookies pretty much for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Because nobody pays us for this, so the sustenance is primarily cookies. So if you want to leave out something a little more,
a sandwich would be nice every now and then.
Sandwich, yeah. And not a sandwich cookie. Cookies, just as bad. But yeah, sandwich.
Yeah, I've been eating cookies nonstop pretty much every day for the last 200 years. It's been
220.
220.
Oh,
Wow. Yeah, I've been up there for a while. I didn't expect the whole cookie thing to be a thing, but I'm still happy for the job.
It was part of your contract. Yeah. I know it wasn't particularly large print, but it was there.
Yeah, fine print. Straight out of Elf High School, I didn't read that very much, but I'm still glad to be there.
Nobody does. That's
great.
how I get so many elves.
Yeah, But good team up in the North Pole, right?
Absolutely, that perfect team up.
So let's talk about, it's kind of, it's cold up there, and it's not always cold in every part of the world. So, you got this suit on. What do you put on, some shorts when you go to the desert and stuff?
It's cold where I am. It's part of the travel. You have to cool things down to almost very close to absolute zero in order for the sleigh to be able to just glide right through the air.
Gotcha.
People have wondered all these years, how I get to every single house. And, I have missed a few over the years. Don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect. But yeah, definitely the super cooling helps a lot. And that's primarily what the suit is for, and then it became expected, so now anytime I'm out and about I have to wear it, otherwise people are like, oh, why isn't Santa Claus dressed right? So, and as for the elves, that's just so I can locate them in the snow.
Yeah, if we ever fall off the sleigh, it's much easier to find us if we're brightly colored. But I don't mind it. It's very fashionable for elves.
And your legs look fantastic.
Oh, thank you. I'm on my feet all day, so they're pretty strong. Yeah.
So Jingles, leading up to Christmas, you're pretty busy.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty much busy all throughout the year. Like he said, really, he's mainly just busy, though. The one day out of the year.
The boss, that's how it is.
Yeah, us elves, though, we're working nonstop.
I wouldn't say nonstop. I do walk in on the occasional card game.
Oh, boy.
We do get breaks.
Slack off in July. I understand. You feel like you got all the time in the world.
The 80-hour work weeks are a little much. But
come on. I've brought it down from 120. And you still want to complain.
Listen, the automation is nice, but, letting go some of the staff I thought was an interesting choice. We lost a lot of great elves in the past year or so.
Was that because of the pandemic?
It was part pandemic. It was also part, budget costs. Christmas isn't as cheap as it used to be.
If they had gotten vaccinated, that never would have happened. Well, I pushed it. I was very adamant.
Mandate?
Not mandate. I don't, think about things in terms of mandates. Just, if you want to work here, you might as well get vaccinated. Otherwise, you're going to be doing the dirty jobs. That's
Totally
all.
fair, which I totally understand, which, that's why I got vaccinated, of course,
After that initial...
Ooh, yeah. The candy cane quarantine was an interesting time, but, things are settled down now. We don't really work on wooden toys, though, so you don't really make toys much anymore. It's
No, it's primarily procurement and logistics as far as these guys are concerned. And, as you have noticed with the supply chain issues in the mundane world, that affects us as well to a lesser degree, but definitely, slows down some of our acquisitions. And, so some things might not be ready. And I just want to make clear that the Xbox and PlayStation situation is completely not on us. That's all the hacker bots. That's all the buy bots or whatever you call them. I don't even understand that stuff. It's all interwebs nonsense.
How do you compete with them?
Compete? I don't have to compete. Nobody pays me. Didn't I tell you this? Oh. No, there's no competition. This is purely out of the goodness of our hearts, I suppose, to a certain extent. I mean, it's a drive. It's something that I feel compelled to do. I don't know. It's been centuries since I had any sort of counseling, so I don't know if there's an actual name for it these days, but I pretty much have to do the presence. It's a tick, if you will.
Claustrophobia. No, that's a different one.
That's
no, that's a different
that's
one.
the bag.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay. What are some of the hot items this year?
Hot items.
I can tell you some of the ones that I've read, at least. Definitely the Xboxes, the PlayStations.
Always.
There's this thing called a graphics card. I don't even know it's something with the computer.
Interwebs stuff.
We don't really have internet up in the North Pole, so there's not really a need for computers.
I long for the days of the hobby horse. And
goodness me.
The toy soldier, although those have become problematic anymore.
I can still remember the last time I made a wooden horse.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was about 50 years ago. About 50 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it went to Sally Jones up in New Hampshire. Johnson.
Sally Johnson.
Man,
Sally Marie Johnson. Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It was her only time on the nice list.
It's true. She worked really hard that year, but right after that Christmas went right back down.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think she's pulled it back since, but I'm always rooting for her.
No, but you know what? Her granddaughter is doing fantastic. 3 out of 3 years.
Very
every
nice.
single year.
The apple fell far from the tree, thankfully.
Very far.
You said you don't have the internet, and that leads itself to the point I want to make. You guys get a lot of snail mail. Who reads all that?
Well, some of our head elves do sort through it. Mrs. Claus does come in every now and then and helps out. But I think that sometimes she just gets bored. She doesn't have much to do up in the North Pole.
She's definitely bored most of the time. Yes.
But, we mostly read it. We do still have dial-up, which is interesting. It's not quite the internet that you guys may know. It's really slow. It's really slow. I once tried to download a picture for Christmas. It took me like 3 days. I decided I'd never download anything again. Also, I got a lot of viruses.
I've never tried to download a thing. Mrs. Claus got me that flip phone back in, it must have been 98, 99.
Yeah, not too long ago, though. Yeah.
I don't even know. Whenever flip phones came around down here, we got a couple just in the process, and she set me up with a number. I don't even know how to answer the thing anymore.
No, I think it's mostly just like people asking for your personal information. I answered it once just because it kept ringing, and it was just some dude asking for your social security. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, the last time I answered it was they were asking me if I wanted to put some more, I don't know, a warranty on the sleigh or something of that nature.
Extend the warranty. I don't know what a warranty is, but...
Well, apparently it's something to do with, like if you break your toy, you can get it.
Gotcha.
Remember how we used to do that?
Yeah, I remember.
Had to discontinue that program.
But now that there's so many people, like we just can't even do it. You know,
billions and billions,
trillions of people. I think at this point, it just keeps growing. But you know, we get a letter from every single child in the world, and it's like, whew. All right. I guess we need to expand the business again.
Right. Yeah, we were thinking about putting in a second base down at the South Pole.
Okay.
But people have been doing so much exploring down that route anymore. You know, it's almost like it's too crowded. Too crowded. Antarctica is a little too crowded.
I heard Jack Frost went down there and he just kept running into people all over the place.
And then he started that whole thing with the penguins. And I don't. Polar bears I can handle. Penguins freak me out.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
But,
Now, Santa, you said that Mrs. Claus got you a flip phone. I would have assumed, and you know that's what assuming gets you, but I would have assumed that kind of the influencer that you are, that these companies would kind of send you things to kind of, you know, test out. Do you do that?
I mean, things pile up, but you know, like Jingles was saying, we don't necessarily get to read all of the mail, and I am not involved with that side of it. So if anything is coming in, Jingles, it's not making its way to me. I'll just put it that way. I don't know if there's self bonuses happening.
No, of course not. But I will say, I have noticed that sometimes when mail comes in, Mrs. Claus does go sort it. So maybe she's setting some things aside. But I'll tell you, we've got a backlog all the way back to World War II.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we've got letters from people that, you know, aren't around anymore, unfortunately. But we'll get there eventually. We'll read their messages, of course.
We'll read it. I don't know what we can do about it at this point. I mean, really, it's just a matter of, you know, like I say, zipping around, dropping something off here. You know, sometimes I don't even look. I just reach in the bag and
just drop it in.
So, you know, if you get something that's not what you asked for, well, somebody did.
Yeah.
Somebody asked for it. So, you know, and the socks. I've heard people complaining about socks, or is it stockings?
It's definitely socks. Yeah,
it's socks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because for some reason, some parts of the world, stockings are hung by chimneys and things. I never understood
Very
that
strange.
exactly. But socks. People complain about getting socks for Christmas, and I don't know if you know this. In Iceland. There's a cat, and I cannot remember that cat's name for the life of me. But if you don't wear something that you've received for Christmas, i.e. socks or another simple piece of clothing, then he eats you. And it's great population control.
Goodness.
Wow.
Great population control, but it's terrible publicity. So I just want to let you know that if you get socks, I'm just looking out for you. That's strictly all it is. Looking out for you. I don't want people getting eaten.
And who doesn't like a good pair of socks? I mean, I feel like there's a hole in my stocking every other day, so I'm constantly replacing them.
Absolutely. So. And now I wear the boots generally, so you know the state of my socks is just a matter of comfort, really. So
absolutely.
Let's get a little controversial here. Let's talk about the naughty and nice list.
We did touch on it briefly there with Sally, but the naughty and nice. What do you think is controversial about that? I'm curious.
I mean, how are you making these judgment calls on who gets what? You know?
I just wing it.
You wing it.
Literally, I just wing it.
We used to have a more, strict, guideline of like if you're like this or do that, but there's so many people.
I mean,
so
year to year it changes. Like we did, what was it, about 5-6 years ago when it first came around so big, we played cornhole, and whoever's bag went in the hole, they got the nice list. Yeah. And then anybody who and really, so that means whoever missed was
on the naughty list.
Was making it.
But I will say, when was the last time anyone got coal? Because it's not us sending that coal.
Yeah,
That's not clean energy. We don't do coal anymore. That's just kind of mean. We do still give them out little gifts. It just may not be the exact thing that they were looking for.
Really, what it is it's all about who needs something to cheer them up and who needs just something to get
Tide
them
them
by.
over.
You know, it's practicality versus what do you call it? Luxury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
So nothing particular. Naughty and nice is such
It's a gray area.
It's a loaded term or a loaded phrase. It's not really a naughty list and a nice list. That got lost in translation from the original. What was it? Bavarian? I can't remember. Yeah.
You know, and another thing that may have gotten lost in translation, because it sounds like you're so busy. I mean, how are you? People think that you're making this list and checking it twice. I mean, do you have the hours in the day?
We'll be lucky to get through it once.
Absolutely. Checking it twice. It works great for songs and poems, but really, I mean...
We try to go through it, but...
I didn't even wear these colors until, Coca-Cola came out with that picture, supposedly. That's when I had to grow the beard.
That was one product placement that did kind of work out in our favor, though. You know, after the fact, we were like, hey... Like, you can't just be, doing this without our permission.
We started getting more Coke and less milk.
Yeah.
Which is great for me.
Great for the reindeer, too. They need that energy.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's been a wild time. You turning into because originally you were called Father Christmas. I don't know if you remember that, but
no, it's before my time.
I promise.
Yeah, it was weird. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Father. She tried, but no. Anyway, Father Christmas, Kris Kringle, all these. Again, it's poetry. It's rumor. You wouldn't put a label on nature. I mean, nature is nature. I guess that is a label if you want to look at it that way. But it doesn't mean everything. The name of the thing isn't everything. So call me Santa Claus, call me Kris Kringle, call me whatever you want to call me. I'm still going to be doing the same things no matter what.
I want to talk about another thing that, you get a lot of praise for is you picked Rudolph with this red nose. Now, I would have looked at that and said, hey, maybe he needs to go to the doctor or to the vet. But you saw something in him that not everybody saw.
Yeah. What I saw was this song come up to the North Pole with one of the elves, and I said, what is this? I've never named a reindeer in my life.
Oh, my gosh.
Rudolph, Vixen, Blitzen, again, poetry, nice words. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, if you want to peek behind the curtain, I love the reindeer. Don't get me wrong. I love every one of them. But really, it's just sort of a first come, first serve. Whoever lines up and wants to go for the flight, that's who gets it. And I think they have their own system of choosing who's going to go, but I've never really understood it. I never learned the language. You speak reindeer. What?
Yeah, I learned from my uncle.
Can you explain a little bit how that works?
Yeah, the reindeer, they're very, I guess you'd call it democratic is the way people describe it now. They all come together, they kind of all vote so and so has been doing so well in the races because they're racing all the time. They're always training because they're kind of sports nerds, I guess you could call them. But they base it off of their results, and then there's still a little bit of wiggle room. Some of the newer reindeer who are really determined to prove their worth will be putting their stake in, and sometimes they'll get a vote in, but most of the time it's based on who's fastest, because we got a lot of places to be.
Gotta get the sleigh down to almost absolute zero,
and getting it down to Australia is so Australia is usually the first place we go because it's so far away. We take that one
so
first.
far away, and then it gets warm.
It gets so
real
warm.
Quick, real quick, because the whole tilt of the earth thing.
Yeah. But
interesting. Let's talk more about the North Pole, because not a lot of people can get up there. I've seen movies filmed there. You guys obviously permit that kind of thing, but what kind of amenities do you have up there?
Well,
amenities. If you imagine the height of 18th century technology with a little bit of what do they call it? steampunk? Is that
lots of gears.
Gears, yes.
Yeah.
Somehow one of the elves about 200 years ago started, doing all these things with gears.
Fizzy Wink, I think was his name.
Fizzy Wink, we lost him a few years back, but yeah, he started doing all these things with gears and with what do you call it? Like pipes and like the steam pipes that go through. That's why the steampunk
I guess
kind of came to me because he runs all these things, all the automation that Jingles was talking about. That was all powered. That was all Fizzy Wink's idea. Yeah, and
it's still running great. We haven't had any issues. He really built that thing to last,
which is good because nobody else knows how to use it.
Not an idea. That would be a day.
When you're traveling the world, do you see any kind of architecture that you would like maybe some developers to come talk to you about building on the North Pole? Or you like the nostalgia?
Building, I don't know that we necessarily need anything built. I mean, mostly the cave network is sufficient. The only things up near the surface are like the I guess you would consider them or think of them like igloos or just small structures. We have to keep a low profile. Now I do admire architecture around the world, but have I ever thought about bringing that home? No.
Gotcha.
Also the cost. Goodness,
yeah.
To get people up there and the materials, I can't even imagine trying to build something.
The cost of a 2x4 these days. Have you seen it?
I wish we could grow trees up in the North Pole, but that's just not feasible, especially down in the caves.
Yes, lumber construction is prohibitive.
So you don't have any Christmas trees up there?
No, well, we did import some, and a few of them do talk really cool, but they didn't, I guess, reproduce, if that makes sense. They didn't start making more trees.
No.
We had the trees, but it's something about, like, the fact that everything's made of ice, it just doesn't grow.
Yeah, they don't like it, so they don't feel like bringing their offspring into the world, I suppose.
But they're cool. The trees are really nice.
Nice enough, yeah.
Yeah, I will say, though, going back to the cost of wood, even though it was cheaper back in the day, still importing all of that wood for those toys.
I had to stop on the way back from delivering toys, grab materials for the next year. Yeah,
and we still do that to an extent. We'll stop by like the local Costco or something and grab some stuff before we head back up
mainly
north.
Cardboard boxes. Because that's the packaging seems to be the big thing these days. You got to have it packaged properly. What do they call those? That young elf was talking about unboxing videos.
Oh yeah, it's this thing that people do, I guess, on the computer where they unwrap presents for people to watch or something.
I've seen a couple.
I don't understand it. Most people want to unwrap their own presents.
Yeah,
why would you want to watch somebody else unwrap theirs?
Who can't unwrap presents at that? I don't know.
Maybe it's for people with no hands.
Maybe times are changing.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Jingles, let's talk about somebody who kind of, from the elf world, has gotten a lot of notoriety. Let's talk about Buddy. I mean, how did you guys feel about him when he went down
Buddy.
to New York?
Yeah, Buddy. Buddy, I actually was in the initial training with Buddy. I think.
Yeah.
I trained him up. He was a good kid.
Big fella.
It's a big fella, based on a true story.
Yeah.
He
obviously wasn't Will Ferrell.
Right.
I don't know why they chose Will Ferrell. He looks nothing like the guy. But
if you imagine Chris Farley and cross him with John Belushi, that's more what the Buddy we knew.
Okay,
was. But that makes sense. Going back in media for as long as you all have been doing media, you change the look of things. Hence,
Yeah,
Santa Claus looking like.
but Buddy's, he was a really good kid. He's still kicking somewhere. I'm not sure what he's up to. After his story blew up, he left the North Pole. He decided that he wanted to go down to Hollywood, I guess, and try to make a living there. And as far as I know, he's working in malls.
He did a couple of films down in the Valley.
Okay, okay.
But nothing you would have heard of.
Yeah, he's mostly doing like I guess they're independent films, you know, not like blockbusters or anything.
Right, yeah.
But he's cool. The fame went a little to his head. I won't lie. But you know, it's kind of hard not to let that happen.
Still hasn't returned his uniform either.
He still hasn't returned that uniform, and we only have so many of them, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
Mrs. Claus used to make so many, but
The only reason we haven't bugged him about it is nobody else has come through at that size.
It's
so,
true. You know,
there's
very
really
tall
no
guy.
purpose. Yeah.
Very tall guy.
Very, very wide.
But overall,
makes me look like a tiny fella.
overall, good guy. I hope him the best.
Speaking of films, Santa, you're in a lot. Are you SAG?
I am not
Okay.
in a lot. Let's clear that up right away. I mean, I think the only portrayal of me that even comes close would be Kurt Russell. I think did a fantastic job. Of course, I've never had to. What was that? That one feller did a film. Gosh, now I can't remember his name. That's not gonna
Which
work
movie
well.
was it?
Now I'm just blanking on everything.
I know.
I don't watch movies.
Well, I mean, you're centuries old. It's all right to forget something every once in a while.
What?
Centuries young.
Yes.
Good save.
Yeah.
But,
Anywho,
how is Mrs. Claus, by the way?
who?
Mrs. Claus, your wife?
Oh.
Yeah. I haven't actually seen her. I've been so busy down in the caves.
Yeah. We.
Hey, if you don't want to talk about it right
let's
now,
not.
yeah. But how? Any more questions for us? By the way,
Yeah, I mean-
what's on your list? Let's turn this around a little bit. What's on your list this year?
You know,
Young man,
I don't even really know what's on my list, and my mom wishes that I knew because she wants to let you know what I want.
That
But
has been, we get all those letters like we were talking about, and often it's letters from the parents asking us to do the investigative work ourselves, and we don't obviously have time for that. So which is why I really started just tossing whatever out the slate. However, when it comes to someone such as yourself, who I've done the research by asking the question, you don't know what you want. Just wait. You'll be surprised, and your mother will be disappointed at your reaction.
okay. I can't wait. We got 10 days to find out. That's exciting.
wow, it's so
10 days, is that all?
10 days. Goodness
10
me, it's
days.
only a little over a week, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Gosh, we really should be doing something toy related, or you should anyway.
I put in a lot of hours this week to make a little bit of time. I did a little bit of overtime for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
we're not behind schedule. Trust me.
Good, because I don't know.
No, and we
keep
just
track of
hired that new group. Those trainees, and I think that they're going to do a really good job.
They're bringing stuff together.
Yeah,
for us. Okay,
absolutely.
good.
They've learned how to do maintenance on the machines. That's the big thing.
Okay.
We lost a couple of elves early on because we didn't really know what to do with the machines. But the new guys, they're younger, so I think they understand the technology a little bit better. So they're a little bit more equipped to handle.
I think the oldest of them is only what, 300?
Yeah, super young.
Yeah.
He
Just
fresh out of
babies.
school. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jingles, is there any incentive to working extra hours?
Well, I guess the answer that we'd like to say is the Christmas joy that we bring the children.
Yeah.
And the Thin Mints.
And the Thin Mints.
I break out the Thin Mints for the overtime workers.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's nice, but we the elves have been really fighting for this program that was actually instituted by a few other fairy tale creatures, which is we work for 1 year. We do the full hours 1 year, and then the next year we have off. So it's 1 year.
I can't afford to lose them. I can't. It's an impossibility until
That's
they
why
start
bringing on people, though.
until they start churning out better and more workers. I can't afford to have them taking time off, especially a whole year.
So I guess the main incentive is I'm trying to set a good example for the youngins so that they they let me retire.
Yeah.
You know?
So what is the retirement age for an elf? I mean, what'd you say in the beginning? You're 200 something.
Well, I'm nearing. I've been doing it for 220, right?
220, yes.
Yeah.
But you were
So
you were 476 when you
Yeah,
came out
so
of
I'm
school. He was a
nearing-
late bloomer.
Oh,
Late bloomer.
I was held back a couple of grades in elf school. You know, I couldn't quite get the wooden horse right, but now that's not a problem.
That,
So,
and it's nice that was the last wooden toy you made was
Yeah.
the horse, because it sort of
It kinda
brought you
came in
for
full circle.
for a full
Yeah,
circle.
yeah.
yes.
But,
redemption story.
you know, I'm nearing. I'm right around 700. I can't remember the exact number. You kind of lose track after a while. But 800 is the ideal age to retire because you got another, 500 years or so before
That
you
were
have
the
to
case. I
move
would have
on.
retired 600-700 years ago.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
and trying to retire, in this economy is just tough.
Yeah,
There's-
Yeah.
No one has the time. I
Cost of
haven't-
living.
We haven't saved up enough cookies.
No.
I mean, how are we going to get through the next couple of millennia without, or centuries rather, not millennia?
Yeah, so leave sandwiches and extra cookies.
Sandwiches, a vegetable wouldn't be.
I know that your doctor would be happy to see that.
They leave the carrots for the reindeer. Generally, that goes into the storage.
Yeah.
Mrs. Claus.
Hey, it's all right, buddy. It's okay.
So,
She'll come back around.
makes a great stew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes a great carrot and turnip stew.
I hope you guys can smooth things over in paradise.
I do too.
It's not the first time that they've had a little bit of a quarrel, so I'm sure that things will smooth out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have been great. I appreciate you guys stopping down. I know you guys have a lot to do on your press tour before Christmas.
So much. Press tour?
Did I not
That's what this
tell
is,
you
right?
that,
Though, I thought this was the only one.
No, this is the start of the. We've got like 8 more today that we have to get to.
Wait, you mean I have?
I gave you the itinerary this morning.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable. I can't do this.
Well,
Do this anymore.
Santa walked
Steven,
off.
I just want to say thank you for having us. I'm a big fan.
Thanks, Jingles. I appreciate you coming
were
out.
My first stop for a reason, but I gotta go. Thank you.
Thanks.